Hey guys, Courtney here with another Wellness Wednesday from Allegheny County Library System. Today I am here with the lovely Shannon Shine. She is going to guest star today with a little meditation, but I will go ahead and let her introduce herself and tell you exactly what we're all going to do today.
Yay, thank you so much for having me, Courtney. I'm so excited to know that you're doing this for the library system. Being a local to Cumberland, it's nice to know that there's a lot of different wellness opportunities popping up, even if you're stuck at home during the current transitional state of life. And again, I'm just honored to be here. I've been doing what I can online to help people through transformation. I call myself a little bit of a transformational coach. That might sound fluffy to some people, but what it is I help people through a grief process or through a transitional state in their life. And that seems to be what a lot of people are facing right now, is a huge transition in their lifestyle. There's basically nobody that's been unaffected by the current change that is kind of 2020. So I like to use different forms of art and music and meditation to bring relaxation and comfort during times of uneasy knowing of what's going to happen next.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important. I mean, that's why we started Wellness Wednesdays with the library, just to kind of bring that sense of peace and calm. So I'm super excited to have you here. You have your Bring Me to Life group, as well as what other type of groups do you work with?
Cool. So yeah, I personally run a lot of my projects through shantasticshine.com, which is my personal website where you can find a lot of tutorials and one-on-one videos. And then my partner, Silaman, and I, we co-create the Bring Me to Life network, which started out just kind of a few of us here in Cumberland and has actually been expanded globally, where we interview other wellness practitioners, artists, musicians that are doing something positive to impact the world. So we have a radio show that has all positive music. So if you're at home and you want some good music and you're like, man, a lot of the stuff on the radio lately is just bringing me down, we have all high vibe music that have inspirational, positive messages to help make your day more enjoyable. So that's all found at bringmetolife.com, and that's with the number 2. And you're also going to be able to find so many amazing podcasts. We have about 7 different series now. I have one called Awakening with the Girls. So if you are wanting to hear other women's empowering stories of their spiritual awakening, that's what that platform is all about. So
we will have those links in the comments or in the description of this video for anyone who's interested. So,
yay, thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be here, and I think that if possible, I would like to just talk a little bit about how I use what I call the emotional chakra system to kind of balance through the grief process, and to teach everybody or lead everybody through a little meditation for their day.
Yeah, it's exciting. We'll go ahead and let you get started.
Yay. So first I'll just tell us a little bit about the system I'm speaking of, and then we're going to, as you guys get comfy, we'll do a little meditation. So the emotional chakra system is related to the chakra system you hear a lot of in yoga, which maybe you've taught, maybe it's something you'll work on in your yoga practices. But I like to look at the emotional side of it. So rather than just moving my body, I like to see what emotions are affected by the energy centers in our body. And it is reflected in how we feel aches and pains through our transition. So if we're holding a lot of stress in our body through our emotions, then it's easy for us to feel like our world is crumbling around us. So being somebody who grew up in a home with a lot of addiction and stress and trauma constantly thrown at me, I had to look at what emotions I was feeling on a constant basis. That starts down in our root, which is related to fear, which can be connected to our legs and our limbs. And it moves up to feeling guilt and shame in our sacral and our solar plexus. And then we feel our inner love and connection to others in our, like, kind of in our solar to our heart. And then we work on our truth and how we speak and communicate with people. Because if we're feeling fear, stress, guilt, shame, and unloved, then it's hard for us to communicate. It's hard for us to speak our truth, which sometimes makes our throat swell or feel just full of gunk. So we want to work on those. And then we get to the kind of more personal. Everyone knows we all struggle with guilt and shame and fear throughout our lives. But then as we move up to the third eye and the crown chakra, it's a more personal connection for each person on how they connect with the spirit around them, whether they connect through a very religious practice, or they have a more kind of open spiritual practice, or they just go with the flow and feel whatever energy is guiding them. I think that this is a practice that can be shared with anyone and everyone, because it's a form of prayer and asking for a release of these tense emotions. So I think that gives people an overview of what I'm about to lead you all through. So if you want to get comfy, we can close our eyes and just visualize yourself kind of in a bubble. So I like to say we're in a bubble, because that gives us all the energy we need surrounding us. And we have an energy field that goes about 6 feet around us. So usually if you stick your arms around out, you can kind of feel that energy bubble, and kind of just like move them from side to side for a second. And you can even put them up in the air and kind of like create that energy bubble around you. And as you do, you can kind of bring it back up to your heart, and you can either place them on your heart or place them together as you do like a universal prayer to spirit. And we're going to meditate here and start to feel that energy bubble fill us from the bottom up and overflow. So in our root, which starts down at our limbs and our toes and our feet and our ankles, we're going to start asking spirit and the energy around us to release any fears we have right now. Any fears we have about the world around us. Any fears we have about what could happen today or tomorrow or next week. Releasing all that, take a nice deep breath in and feel safety and stability start to fill you up. With each breath, feeling that stability start to bring a calmness to you. Realizing you don't have to be afraid, that whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you've already survived this far. So you can release the fear of the unknown. Releasing that, you might start to see kind of a red light. I'm a visual person, so I like to see the colors start to swirl around me. Allow the red light to charge up that stability, that fearlessness, and it'll start to fade as we move up our body, up our knees, our legs, our thighs, to right around our hips. Start to turn a bright orange. It's here we're going to release any sort of guilt. Guilt for feeling any sort of way. Guilt for having those fears that we just released. Guilt for feeling confidence. Release it, and instead embrace the confidence in knowing that now that you're able to be a little more fearless, a little bit more strong, you have the confidence to go about your day. You are a powerful, beautiful, amazing being. And think in doing what you have to do to transition into the best version of you. Breathe that in, breathe in that confidence, and release any guilt, any pressure, and any little bit of remaining fear. As that orange light begins to surround you and blend in with the red, taking a couple nice deep breaths here, because guilt can be heavy. You want to feel lighter. You want to feel excited and confident, because we're going to be moving on up from your hip area to your waist and your belly, right in your gut. Right in your gut where you feel a lot of maybe anxiety, Maybe if you feel fear or guilt, you also feel it in your gut because this is shame. And we're going to release shame. Shame is an emotion that does not serve us and is often put upon us by others' expectations. So let's release those expectations. And though we want to build our relationships to be as strong as they can be with those that we love and those that support us, we're going to release the shame of any expectations that are not our own. There's no need to be told how to be or who to be or what to do, because your own higher self, your connection with God, Spirit, whatever it is you connect with, is strong and it's there to guide you. So release the shame and expectation of others and instead embrace that inner knowing. That knowing that the relationships that are there to support you are going to nourish you and are going to stand by you as you begin to embrace that confident, fearless self to be the best version of you. Breathe that in. See some bright yellow lights swirling with your orange and your red as we begin to create our own little rainbow here. Let your belly fill up with joy and excitement, knowing that relationships that you have are meant to be there for joy and experience and learning. A few more nice deep breaths. You want to fill up your chest as we move on up to our heart space, bringing all this excitement of knowing that you deserve this. You also deserve love. Now, what holds back that love is often grief or attachment to any of those lower emotions that we just worked through. If you're afraid, it's hard to accept love. If you're feeling ashamed, it's hard to accept love. If you're feeling guilty, it's hard to accept love. If you're grieving, it's hard to accept love because you feel like you're losing something. And we're going to change that loss into appreciation and gratitude. And we're going to remember what it's like to feel loved, to be loved, to be fearlessly loved, to feel confidently loved, to not have to doubt it or feel guilty for that love. As you take your deep breaths here, I want you to think about a time you felt the most love in your life. How did that feel for you? Sometimes it only takes one person's love. Sometimes we're surrounded by so many beautiful people. A time of your honoring. If you can't think of a time that you felt that deep love, I want you to appreciate what it would feel like to have that love and embrace that feeling. What would it mean for you to be absolutely, fearlessly, confidently loved? If you're grieving or missing someone, something, or someplace or situation at this time, honor that, respect that. There's allowed to be a loss in your heart, but try to remember and honor the amount of experience you had with this person, place, or thing. And also remember that everyone around you is grieving something. So you're never alone. You may feel so alone, but you're actually so surrounded by love and others that are more willing to understand than we often realize. So while we're here in this key to the upper and lower chakras, I want you to also send out love to all of those that may need a little extra right now. Because we're filling our cups up so full that we can share. Send out that love. Feel it right here in your hands if you're holding your heart. And smile as you take in a little love from others that are joining us here in time and space. Receiving is also a part of that love, a part of that heart space. Allowing yourself to receive. Not only grieve, but also receive. as a green light swirls around us and joins the other colors in our little bubble, uplifting energy here, we start moving up from our heart. If you've been still and you need to wiggle your shoulders and carry that energy up, that's okay. Keep your body and your energy active, because now you should start to be feeling a lot more joy. We've released a lot of the heaviness, and we're activating our throat space as we embrace truth. What is your truth? Now that you've released your guilt, your shame, your fear, you are fearlessly able to share your truth and do it with love. Who are you? Who do you wish to be? Who do you wish to show up as? Allow your heart and your throat to begin to come connected as you are able to speak what you most need to from your heart. Maybe you've been afraid to share a part of yourself in fear that it would make others feel uncomfortable, but it would make you feel whole. It would make you feel confidently you again. Not only is the throat chakra, the heart space, the truth space, it's also your self-expression. How do you show up? What do you wear? How do you do your hair? These are silly little things we don't think of as being part of our truth. Are we allowing others to control that? Or are you stepping into your most divine self, showing up as the superhero that you know you are? What is your truth? Feel it and breathe it in. Smile as you remember that you are allowed to speak and share. And when you do so with love, you inspire others to do the same. What is one positive truth you can start sharing with the world today? Breathe that in. Integrate that it's now a part of you. It's a part of your truth. You're going to start showing up in that as blue light begins to swirl around in our energy rainbow. We continue to smile because we're embracing who we are. You're starting to feel more in alignment with your current situation. As we move up and you feel a tingle in your third eye, right in the middle of your forehead. It's a fuzzy little tingle of inspiration, of guidance. It may even spark a little light. This color sometimes shows as indigo, or a color that represents the third eye to you. The third eye is different for everyone. Some people hear things, some people see things, some people feel things. Maybe you receive your messages in another way, but we just want to open it up. We want to open up our connection to spirit, to God, to universe, to your higher self, to your inner you, that inner voice that is you, that guides you. We want to ask that in this space, that inner knowingness, that inner guidance, be there with love, be there with confidence, and show us the way. Show us whatever it is we need to do to help inspire others just by being the best version of us. What can you do, and how can spirit guide you? If you're somebody who has a hard time connecting with spirit, maybe you have a hard time accepting signs, symbols, and synchronicities, that's okay. You can then ask spirit to guide you in whatever way you'll be able to follow. You don't have to know. Just ask for the ability to be in flow. Breathe that in, knowing now you are in flow with spirit. You'll receive the guidance in a way that you can understand and take action. Breathing that in, feeling so much lighter, feeling fearless, feeling confident, feeling joyful, loved, honest, and activated. We're going to move to our crown, which may bring you to a nice bright white light, activating around the full bubble of all of the emotions, all of the energy we just channeled through. And in this crown, you're going to release any attachment to the previous you, the you that you thought you had to be, the you that may not have been you at all, the you that was built out of expectation of others. And now you take on your own responsibility to be the best version of you. In your crown, you give yourself your own permission slip to connect with spirit in a way that feels good for you. Be it in more meditation, be it in yoga, be it with journaling, or maybe just a walk in nature. Release the attachment to the old you, the old worries, the old fears, the old guilt, the old shame. It's no longer needed to be a part of you because you get to create this reality. Surround yourself with more love, more honesty, and more guidance, and really feel that. And here we'll take nice 3 deep breaths together before we end. Breathe it all in. Let anything else go. Breathe it in again. Hold it and really feel it. And then let it all go. And this last time, try to smile while you breathe. And then let it all go. And you can either keep your eyes closed for a moment, or you can just bring your hands down to your legs or wherever feels comfortable and feel that energy tingle. Feel it come through your body, knowing you just spent time on you. You spent a good little chunk of energy focused on you and what you need to do. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And
Wow.
hopefully you feel like a whole new you.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So you said that people can find you on your website. What was that again?
So my personal website is shantasticshine.com. And if you find me on social media, I'm usually Shannon Shine or Shantastic Shine on most social medias, and I connect with people directly. And I also do like soul readings and connect with people with their personal problems. We can do goal setting. Sometimes I'll use oracle cards. They're a little different than tarot. I mainly like the art on them because I'm an artist, and there's some amazing artists out there putting out some beautiful just inspirational guidance cards. So I love to connect with whoever wants to reach out. And if you need more uplifting content, there's plenty of it at bringmetolife.com. There's music, there's podcasts, there's articles, a little bit of something for any kind of learner.
Yeah, absolutely. In this day and age, of course, things are crazy right now. And they were crazy before, but not this crazy. There are so many amazing resources online and even locally for people to reach out and live a full, happy life full of wellness. So thank you so much again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'll put the links in the comments. We will close. Since I'm with the library system, what book rec would you give to people if they're interested in this type of wellness, maybe chakra meditations or one that's really inspired you? What would you recommend people check out?
Well, there's a lot of different books that have been super inspiring to me. A few, can I just shout out a few that they could check out?
Absolutely.
All right, so one book that really changed my journey in the beginning was The Four Agreements, and it is, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce who it's by, but The Four Agreements is a pretty powerful book. It helps remind you to just release expectations and stop making assumptions, things like that. Another powerful book for me was Big Magic. As a creative, it was super inspiring to remember who and what drove my creative juices, along with The Artist Way, which is a book I'm currently reading, and it helps inspire more journaling and giving yourself time to just reflect on what makes you a creative being. So those are a few of my current ones that just popped in my head. So
No, those are great, and I will include either links to those on our website or links to our digital hoopla and different things as well if they're available right now. So once again, thank you so much. Let's take, as I usually close, we usually take one last breath together. So let's do that. So let's breathe in, one last breath together. Maybe bringing hands to heart center. Thank you once again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you next week with our next Wellness Wednesday.